So when a game about creating your own levels is released, naturally people will create levels and some of those will be considered as bad levels. YouTubers naturally will try to find the worst Geometry Dash level, and when I saw this video by Colin titled The Worst Geometry Dash Level, which said that Generation Retro is the worst Geometry Dash level, I disagreed. So then I made my own video where I said that Melody by Sweet Dude was the worst GD level, but after a ton of backlash and even Woolsey tweeting my video, I made a second part saying that Asylum by Omega Falcon was the new worst Geometry Dash level. That might have been it at the time, but recently I've secretly been on a mission to see if I could find a worse level than Asylum, and oh boy I did, thanks to my research and many of my fans' suggestions. Before I checked your suggestions, I decided to do a bit of research myself. Now, what did I think was the easiest way to find really bad levels? Dislikes. I searched every difficulty and looked at every dislike level one by one. And from this, I've managed to collect 5 different levels. Technically 6, but the most disliked easy level, Extreme Disaster, was suggested by someone in my Discord server. So let's do that level first. The level starts with a really annoying jump, followed by a few normal jumps, and then another normal jump with spikes that you can't see. Let me remind you that this is a 2-star level. A 2-star. The creator had the audacity to put a blind triple spike jump. Moving on at around 23%, the level just lies to you and points downwards, which leads to a spike wall. In fact, you have to jump instead. This leads to a ship part with I don't even know what to call it. This is rivaling the love bubble orb spam, but it's a bit calmer in this level. Then we move on to a mini ship section with saws that you can't see. There's an easy straight fly which is fine, but then this. Why? This level also has a mirror portal for some reason. Not much to mention after that. The only thing is that at the end of the level, you have to do this stupid jump where you need to land in between the 2 spikes. And by the way, you can't see. How stupid is that? You could call this memory and say I'm nitpicking, but you can do memory much more better than this. And then the level ends. Now this is a good contender for the worst GD level, but there's still 5 more levels I found. Starting off with Teaspoon Madness, a 5-star level. I picked this level because while some parts are quite normal like this beginning, the main issue is just blind stuff. You have blind structures out of nowhere, blind orbs that scare the hell out of you, but otherwise not much to mention here. There is this part at 60% where there's a blind UFO transition which I don't like, followed by an empty ship part. Oh wait, no, there's a blind structure thing that you need to go through. What's sad is that most of the gameplay is fine with some decent fakes, but these problems make completing the full level really annoying. Now we're moving on to Colorful level with 2 L's. Now the beginning is somewhat fine, but these orbs are a little badly placed, and these timings at 9% are not that great. There's some off-screen gameplay sections, but they aren't that much of an issue. Be careful at the ship part because it's a little tricky, but no issues here. Oh, and at the drop, the level randomly spikes up in difficulty, including spikes that are almost invincible. The decoration is not bad, but it kinda hurts my eyes a little. Or maybe I have sensitive eyes, I'm not sure. There's some more blind jumps and then a blind UFO transition. What's up with bad levels and blind transitions? The remaining 20% is thankfully auto. Thankfully. Following that, we have Electro Dash, and you're probably noticing a pattern here. 4 out of the 5 levels I found are rated hard difficulty, which is really interesting. Now looking at the level, this isn't actually too bad, but the thing is, there are a few minor issues that add up. The level has weird difficulty bumps, the level has blind transitions, the level has bad gameplay. It all adds up to a non-enjoyable experience, especially the last 20% with, I don't even know. It goes from UFO to ship to cube to ship to UFO to cube to whatever. It's just a big messy level. After that we have Funny. I guess people didn't find the level funny. The level has over 1,000 dislikes, damn. The beginning is completely memory. It's not really good memory though, there's like no correlation to the song or anything like that. After that, there's not much to mention until 24% with blind saws in the ship, and then a blind transition, and then this at 80%. What is this? After that, there's nothing to mention, but this level definitely gives me mixed reactions. And the final level to review is Sunrise 3. By the way, I checked, and yes, there are 3 Sunrise levels. The first 2 levels are rated hard, but for some reason the third level is rated normal? Alright, let's start the level, and we have a mirror portal. Can't say I didn't expect that. And then another mirror portal. Alright, and then another mirror portal, and another mirror portal, and another, and oh my god, does it even end? How many mirror portals do you need? The gameplay isn't even that bad, why do you need to ruin it with mirror portals? I kid you not, this goes all the way until 60% of the level. 60% of the level is just mirror portals with subpar gameplay. What the heck? That is legit the only issue with this level. The rest of the level is fine, it's just those damn mirror portals. Before I did my research, around a few weeks ago, I ended up opening a Discord channel in my Discord server, asking people to send in the worst GD levels they could find, and I got a few suggestions. Some of them weren't really that bad, and so I immediately dismissed them, but I ended up collecting 3 levels from my Discord server, and as you know, one of them was suggested by Nate, which was Extreme Disaster by Kflink, which was a really good suggestion, but I won't go through it again. The next suggestion was Don't Do Drugs, recommended by Has95. But anyways, this is actually the first and only platformer level in this video. Now, what could this level give us that we haven't seen before? A direct copy of a Geometry Dash level with bad effects? Yeah, I don't know why, but this stupid level, which is a copy of one of the levels of the tower, was rated by RobTop and he even commented. The level is slightly different though. We get to say hello to Jason, and we have Stretch. You know what, let's just call him Stretch. The final level recommended to me was How to Clutter Frog, suggested by Green Queenox. So please, can this be any better than the previous level? Are you kidding? So the entire level is just a direct copy of Colorfunk, but the only difference is the song, which was created by Guitar Apology Styles. Why, Robto? Why did you rate this? Okay, so this will probably be the biggest part of this video, because through my 2 videos, I managed to collect 13 different levels just from the YouTube comment section. Thank you guys so much. So now let's review each and every single one, starting off with Stereo Whiteness. I saw many people comment this after I said that Love Bubble was the worst demon in the game, so let's review it. Immediately, this seems like a buff Stereo Madness, but everything is white, and even some of the gameplay's blind. Honestly, the gameplay's okay, but why are there so many white squares? This text at 20% does look nice though. But then the drop comes to the ship part and it's just flying with white squares everywhere. It is called Stereo Whiteness for a reason. Not much to mention for the drop, it's the same thing. And then we go back to the cube part, which is just blind gameplay, random decoration, and I mean random. And then the level ends with the ship part, which doesn't flash that quickly thankfully, but then it flashes green at the end. Like, what was the point of that? Safe to say, I don't think this is worse than Love Baba, simply because the gameplay wasn't as bad. No, not because of how difficult it is. The Love Baba gameplay can easily be better if it was more straightforward. Now we're moving on to Laser Green, and looking at just the first frame of this level, yeah what? There's random decoration everywhere, and the gameplay's off screen, and it's not that good either. 15% is just rude. There's just a random spike structure that pops out. At 26%, there's just a bunch of text that says, oh my god. This is definitely giving me dynamic on track vibes. Gameplay's okay after this, but then we reach 42%, and it says this. I don't know if I can actually say this. At 46%, this goblin randomly decides to close his mouth, and without warning there's a dual UFO. Normal gameplay here and there, and then there's a stupid timing at 70%. It's only stupid because it's in a 5-star level. How is this 5 stars again? I don't know. The final thing to mention for this level is that this 90% ship part is rude. Like, why was there a need to move the structure down? Well then, let's check on Theory Impossible. For an 8-star, there are some difficult jumps at the beginning. The thing that makes me laugh is that there's just a random spike flying about. And what's with all the corner blocks? I don't think that looks pretty. The UFO part is very tricky with some difficult timings that feel like a medium demon. What's funny is that you can skip the cube portal at 36%. That joy doesn't last long because there's an unskippable cube portal at 45%. The level is actually pretty straightforward and doesn't have many bad sections, and there's even a generous auto section at around 70%. I don't know what's with the ending, and while the level's not that pretty, the gameplay is also not too bad. So instead, let's check on a level that you might recognize. Buckle your pants. This level has a looped rainbow background, art that rivals a Game Boy, and even a 2-star level has blind gameplay. Like, this is not an enjoyable level. I can't say much for the decoration. Like, dude, there's even layering issues on some of the art. Well, this level definitely has the worst song. Now let's move on to Don't Rate This Level by Kermal out of all people. The level starts off with a surprise spike out of nowhere. Then it's quite normal until around 26%. Without warning, this ship part is actually an upside down ship part. And then the gravity changes invisibly. The transition into the UFO sucks because you need to click out of the UFO portal while there's a black screen covering you. Oh, and then it randomly changes into a wave portal. Then a UFO portal, then it turns mini, like that makes any sense. It's followed by a mediocre ball section, and then a similar cube section to the beginning. And then we have a robot part with random gameplay, with a blind cube transition. And if that wasn't enough for this level, this is the ending. Like, how does a 5-star level have a harder ending than Sakupin Circles? I couldn't tell you. Now let's see the most suggested level, Stereo Madness V4. And I could see why so many people suggested this level. The level starts off with ugly red glow, invincible spikes, and background flashes so fast that I had to slow down the footage. footage. Looking at the level, there's not much to note. The glow later on changes from red to white, and the flashing color changes from only white and blue to all colors of the rainbow, and then pink and white, and then black and white. And the glow also changes to red again. It's basically the same Stereo Madness, but just gives you a seizure. This is a good contender for the worst GD level, but let's look at Prophetic Dream. This is actually one of the most unique cases of bad GD levels. Why? Well, because it literally has nothing in it. So this used to be a normal auto level, but around 5 years ago, it got updated to this, which is legit nothing but with 3 coins in it. Either the creator got hacked, or this got updated for no damn reason. Who knows what happened? But let's look at something a bit more typical, like the level Scream Room. It starts off kind of weird with an unexpected tower flinging you up to a ship part. The beginning of the ship part consists of just straight fly, and then there's a random teleport portal that changes your gravity and your size. In the next part, there's just random structures flying out of nowhere, thankfully with some indications, but it's a very janky level. The wave part after seems somewhat normal, but turns out it's a memory section, and you need to go through some of the structures. Okay then. Also, this is possibly one of the weirdest parts of a level. The level actually continues normally, albeit with some lazy saw replacements, and then a wall with a Q portal. I was stuck here for a while, and only until I saw the level editor, I found out that there's an invisible teleport portal that you can only see for like half a second. What the hell? When you enter this teleport portal, you go through another teleport portal into this dual cube section, which then turns into a wave. After this, there's not much wrong with the level, just mediocre gameplay and weird teleport sections. The decoration is also quite lazy, even during the time it was posted. Alright then, let's check out another Stereo Madness remake called Story Madness. So when the level starts, we have 4 spike jumps, which actually gets progressively worse. A 2 spike mini jump, which is fine, and then a normal mirror portal triple spike, which makes you jump almost blind, then a nerf triple spike with another mirror portal, which actually isn't too bad, and then this abomination. Then memorization begins. It mostly consists of a lot of invisible structures, and a lot of them. And there's even invisible spikes at one point. This is not how you make memory. At this point in the drop, the level splits into 2 parts. One path is a ball part, which has some really stupid timings, followed by a ship part with subpar gameplay, and then ends with a blind pink orb drop. The other path is an extended ship part, which, wait, this is a fake? Which means you have to go up to take the harder, more annoying ball to ship to cube path. The remaining parts of this level consist of just more blind jumps, or just stupid gameplay like this yellow portal cube timing jump thing. The ending just turns into the ultimate Jonathan GD ending, with 2 really difficult straight flies. And this level is a 5-star that never got updated? Alright, now we've reached the final 4 levels, which are all demons, starting off with Demon Park 2, the unofficial sequel. The beginning consists of multiple fakes. Like, why? But then the level flashes just so you could see that there's a 2 spike jump. Thanks! So after jumping off the yellow orb, we see that the yellow portal is fake. So we jump over that, which is fine, but then there's a bunch of spikes you can't see. Oh, and the orbs are fake too. If you try to click on one, you'll hit a saw. After that is this part, which has a bunch of pulsing objects. Now the first few pulsing objects has spikes on the bottom, so you jump over them, and then there's more, but you don't jump off of them. What the hell? And the orb is fake, by the way. Don't trust anything with this level. Then we have a ship section, which is just trying to avoid the portals, and then you need to choose a path. Now thankfully, it's obvious which path to take, I think. In this ship section, there's just invisible saws everywhere, but thankfully all you need to do is straight fly and you'll get past most of them. After an awkward UFO section, we see this, which actually has invisible spikes in the top and bottom. The most stupid part is that this section has a wall of invisible saws. How do you avoid that? By spamming on the roof for an almost invisible ship portal. Why? The level does the exact same thing but with a ship section into a cube portal, and then the level ends with 4 triple spike jumps. For demon levels, it's much easier to make worse levels with worse gameplay. Case in point, the final 3 levels. The first level is Line Apocalypse, a hard demon. Now remember, many other demons like Night Circles or Crazy or Forsaken Neon are the 95% of demons, which are generally decent or sometimes pretty fun. The 5% however consists of this level, and it's the worst out of all of them. The level starts with a teleport portal into a ship portal, and then more structures come out, making you do a janky UFO section and an awkward miniship section. The ball and robot sections are okay, but then there's a teleport portal which blindly sends you into a wave section. With muscle memory, I think it should be fine, but you need muscle memory, that's the problem. And the wave to ship transition here at the drop is awful. You either fly too high or fly too low. You have to follow the structure carefully as the ship, and then jump in between 2 structures as the UFO, which makes a really awkward transition for the cube section, which for some reason turns the cube into a UFO with what I assume is a pink orb block to the player. The memory ball section and the UFO section is fine, but the invisible game mode and speed portals trigger me. There's not even a way to know unless you've played this level before. The ship is only okay, the ball is spam along with the wave, and this UFO sucks because why does the structure have to pop out? The parts after are fine, and then we we reach a break section. And then we reach the thumbnail of this video. This black void character whose name is the creator. How creative. I can barely see these fireballs due to the fire already in the background. Also, why do you have to switch between using exclamation marks and arrows? When I played this level for the first time, I was heavily confused. What doesn't help is that the exclamation marks in this section overlap, but thankfully it's somewhat okay to sight read. Then we have this heavily confusing part where the creator divides into 12 pieces and tries to attack you, and sometimes the level teleports you without your warning, and then finally the level is finished. While the level is only somewhat pretty, the gameplay is definitely the worst I've seen in a rated level so far, because now we have 2 insane demon levels, which are actually by the same creator. So first let's check out Midnight Sun. The level starts and off the bat, this level randomly flips gravity, no clue why, and then the level just moves you around, which is crazy as it is, but then the level goes from normal to reverse to normal to mini to a UFO, and all the portals are invisible. There's some more visible portals, which turns the UFO into a dual UFO, and then the solo dual portal, and then the gravity flips again, and then there's a wave portal. To pass this, you need to go through the discolored slab. Oh, and then you turn into a reverse mini wave portal, which is still invisible. I'm going to fast forward to the drop since nothing much happens here. So at the drop, we have an invisible yellow orb for some reason, and then the embodiment of bad gameplay begins. Wave spam, then UFO section, then an awkward transition into a straight fly. For some reason, the level has text marking 40%, then this UFO part with pink orbs, and whatever this wave part is that happens. The level turns somewhat normal here, but then there's a reverse gravity portal that's invisible. How many times have I said invisible? There's more invisible portals at this second drop, and I don't think my words can justify how bad this level is. Like here in the UFO, you need to do a double jump in between the portals. Why? The only part I could do in one attempt was the ending. It's not that bad, it just consists of good straight flight control. And here we are. We have one final level to review, and that is Hellish Memory. At the beginning, we have some invisible speed portals and also invisible spike right here, and then immediately the drop starts. We have wave spam and random speed changes, and all this happens with the portals being invisible. Without warning, there's a pink orb at this UFO section, and then you fly all the way to the roof in the ship section. We have an awkward duel section which might be worse than the previous one. This level is so random, like there's a 3x speed wave portal that's invisible after a weird ship section. We have more awkward gameplay with this UFO section. Oh, and in this ship part, you shouldn't hit the blue orb, otherwise you'll die. Then we have more invisible blue orbs. This ship section is okay, but this is just rude. The orb just switches place out of nowhere. The ship section after that is also okay, but this UFO section is weird. And then the level ends at 90%. The remaining 10% is basically free. And now here we are. Honestly, this was a really tough decision. Asylum by Omega Falcon has bad and lazy gameplay, bad decoration, and also blinding deco. To beat that was difficult. So I decided between 4 levels, which were Don't Rate This Level, Line Apocalypse, Hellish Memory, and Midnight Sun. What is the worst Geometry Dash level though? Well, I decided to choose Hellish Memory as the new worst GD level, and Midnight Sun can be interchanged as well. Both are really bad levels, sadly made by the same creator. By the way, please do not send hate to this creator, nor any of the creators in this video. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video.